Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to C.A.R. Entertainment. I'm your host Dylan Hamilton, guys, and today we're going to be finishing off our A21 biology revision videos. It's been a hell of a long journey, but we finally reached the end here in January, and the final topic is carbon and nitrogen cycles. If you did GCSE double award or triple award, you will know a little bit about the carbon and nitrogen cycles, but we're going to go over them once more here now, because they are a part of the A21 biology spec. So without further ado, let's get into this and finish the A21 biology spec. So the carbon cycle will do it first. Essentially, you'll start off with plants absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and this will then synthesize carbohydrates during photosynthesis. Autotrophic plants will produce lipid proteins and nucleic acids. All of these contain carbon. These molecules are then consumed by the animals, which enter bodies following digestion. Both release CO2 via respiration. So this is how carbon dioxide gets out of animals, via respiration. Decomposers will use dead plants and animals for food, and some will be using respiration, which also release carbon dioxide. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil, peat, and gas will contain carbon, and when these are burned, this carbon dioxide is then released back into the atmosphere. I should say right now, everyone, that there is a diagram, and it would be much better for you to go learn a diagram. I will only try and get one, but I couldn't get one that was good enough. But whenever you're being taught this year, you'll be given a diagram, and I really strongly advise you to go learn that diagram. Even there might be one in your textbook if you have a A21 biology textbook. Go learn the diagram for the nitrogen cycle and the carbon cycle. They'll both be very good, and they'll be much more helpful to you than just reading this text of me and listening to me in this here. But if you're a person who likes to listen whenever they revise, maybe look at the diagram whilst I read through this and follow along to my verbs. To my speech. So when I say molecules are consumed by animals entering the bodies following digestion, and then they both release carbon dioxide via respiration, you'll be able to pinpoint on the diagram where that's actually happening. I just want to tell you that there because I do think it'll be a lot better for you to revise that way. But here is one. I did find a carbon cycle diagram. I'm just going to show it to you anyway, and I believe we did it with the nitrogen cycle as well. Yes, both of them are there. So I am going to go through this with you. There might be a better one in your textbook, but I'm going to go through it anyway and try and talk about it. So we start from the top with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay, you see that line down the middle where it says photosynthesis? That's where we begin. So photosynthesis is the first thing that takes part, with organic compounds and green plants taking carbon dioxide in the atmosphere through photosynthesis. These plants will then respire, releasing carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere, or organic compounds in animals will feed on these plants, and they will respire, releasing carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Otherwise, these organic compounds in animals or the organic compound in green plants will die, and this will give carbon compounds in dead organic matter. Then, respiration from decomposers will release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Alternatively, fossilization of organic compounds in green plants will mean that there'll be carbon in fossil fuels, and when these are combusted, then it will release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So the nitrogen cycle then. So for the nitrogen cycle, we start at the top with nitrogen in the atmosphere, known as N2. And to start off with, we go with this arrow to the left, a nitrogen-fixing bacteria. So it can go naturally through nitrogen-fixing bacteria, or nitrification, I believe it's called, and this forms ammonia. And then through nitrifying bacteria, or this could be nitrification, we'll get on and we'll talk about that there in nitrogen fixation. So yeah, actually, sorry. That first arrow is nitrogen fixation, and the second one is nitrification. So, but nitrogen fixing bacteria will carry out nitrogen fixation, and they'll take hydrogen in the atmosphere and make it into ammonia. Or the Haber process will do this as well. So once you have ammonia, then the nitrifying bacteria will make it into nitrate, and then nitrifying bacteria will make it into nitrate. The difference is the extra oxygen. Now, another form of getting straight from nitrogen in the atmosphere to nitrate is lightning. Just a natural form of lightning. So you can go through the Haber process, or nitrogen fixation, to ammonia, and then nitrification to nitrate, and nitrification to nitrate, or you can go straight from lightning to nitrogen in the atmosphere to nitrate. So then whenever you have nitrate, the plant proteins will uptake this by the roots, and then the animal protein can consume these plants, and then by saprophytes it'll be turned back into ammonia, or the plant protein itself will be straight turned into ammonia through saprophytes. Now, whenever you have nitrates, there's a little thing called denitrifying bacteria, which will carry a denitrification, and this turns the nitrate into nitrogen in the atmosphere, and then the cycle repeats. So nitrogen makes up 78% of our atmosphere. And the triple bond that links two nitrogen atoms means it's a very stable molecule and it doesn't readily take part in chemical reactions. Nitrogen can't be used by plants or animals in its original form. So nitrogen has to be fixed into useful compounds by rhezobium, which reduces nitrogen gas to ammonia, and this dissolves, forming ammonium. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme nitrogenase. And nitrogen gas can be fixed to ammonia by the Haber process, making fertilizers to spread in oil. So at the moment there we've done the Haber process and nitrogen fixation. So nitrogen can be fixed by oxidizing to nitrate, which happens naturally by lightning, as we see there. And nitrification, this is the process where nitrifying bacteria will oxidize ammonia to nitrate in 2 stages. So as we see here, 1 to nitrate and then 2 to nitrate. You will form nitrate or nitrite by nitrosomonas bacteria and then nitrate by nitrobacter bacteria. This oxidation reaction is exothermic and it releases energy, and therefore bacteria can use and make ATP instead of using it in respiration. We then have a process called assimilation, which is whenever plants use active transport to accumulate nitrate ions in their root hair cells against the concentration gradient, and if they're living in poor soils, then they will trap and digest insects. So that is their uptake by root sorrow. And then you have ammonification, and this is whenever microbial saprobionts will break down proteins to form ammonia in 2 stages. So this is our saprophytes essentially, and these will digest proteins to amino acids using extracellular protease enzymes, or they will remove the amino group from amino acids using deaminase enzymes. These deaminated amino acids will be respired by saprobionts to carbon dioxide and water. Finally, then we have denitrification, which is whenever anaerobic nitrifying bacteria will convert nitrate to nitrogen, which is lost in the air, explaining why nitrogen fixation by nitrifying bacteria is so important. Thank you for watching this video. I've been Don for C.A.R. Entertainment. Good luck in your A21 biology exam. Yeah, and I'll see you for A22.